Hello, Ben.
Hello, Alex. How are you doing?
Great. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
That's awesome.
All right. I appreciate you coming in and doing this with me. It's definitely an honor and a pleasure to have you here.
It is a pleasure to be here, Ben. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's jump right into this.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Path to Billionaire Success Stories, the podcast that takes you on a journey through the stories, strategies, and insights of remarkable individuals who have achieved greatness in their field. I am your host, Ben Petrowski, and together we'll unravel the secrets, challenges, and triumphs that pave the way to success. Join us each week as we uncover the principles that can help you overcome obstacles, embrace change, and harness the potential. Get ready to be motivated, challenged, and empowered to embark on your very own path to success. Remember, success is not just a destination, it's a journey. So buckle up and get ready to explore.
I
Today,
love it.
we're joined by Alex Zastoupil of Clear and Conquer. Would you like to give us a brief rundown of an intro of yourself, Alex?
Absolutely, Ben. Well, thank you again for having me. My name is Alexander Zastoupil, and my purpose in life is to bring out the strength in others so they can take full control of their life and gain all rights to their existence. So everything that I do, from when I wake up to the minute I go to sleep, is literally operating with my purpose. And I am co-founder of Clear and Conquer. I am a disruptor, and our company mission is to help disruptors get clear on their goals and conquer their future with speed.
Awesome. That is awesome. I definitely appreciate you. For those that don't know, Alex is a mentor of mine. He's somebody that I look up to and that has helped me tremendously. And it's an honor to have you here again. I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, let's start off. How do you define success and what does it mean to you personally?
So I define success as being something of having results in every aspect of life. And I have found that a lot of people have success in one or two areas, but they fail at the other ones. And I believe it's because it is the lack of putting your attention and belief that it is possible to have success in every area of life. So I truly believe in having success in, family, relationships, business, or your career, spirituality, your own health, your individuality, and operating with purpose every single day. I believe that is what success means to me. And then what it mean, what the how what it means to me is everything. Because without success, I don't have results, and without results, I am just at a plateau in life, and I don't feel like I am accomplishing the potential that I have in me. So that's my
Right.
definition.
Definitely. That's an awesome definition. Very good. What achievements or milestones have you accomplished that you consider to be successful moments in your life?
Achievements in my life. Right now, I believe the biggest achievement has been the Dubai event that we are going to be having in in about 59 days here, actually. I believe that's one of the bigger
Wow.
achievements that I have had recently, is putting on something so big. It is going to impact millions of people. And I do say that with confidence. I believe it's going to completely change the game for a lot of people. And my success is the success of others. I am only as good as the success around me, the people that I am having impact on, the success that they are having. So my biggest achievements have to do with that. I've had lots of achievements in business. Like I started my own business when I was 13 and grew that from 70 bucks to $100,000 in sales. But I got past the idea of only caring about money and truly caring about other people's success. And when you do that, success comes to you because you really care about changing other people's lives and the success of others. That has been true, very true for me.
Right. Very good. That's awesome. Empowering other people, helping other people, the people around you is definitely an awesome thing to do.
Yes.
Um, how has your definition of success evolved over time?
Well, that's a really good question. I believe it has evolved a lot in comparison to what I used to think, which was a lot about money, a lot about the materialistic things, a lot about cars. And I believe the reason I started thinking like that is because, I mean, if you look at social media, you look everywhere, it's really clear that it's being promoted, like at least
Mhm.
for me,
Right,
right? Like it looks like an entrepreneur just has the Lamborghini
right,
and the mansion and all those things. In reality, nobody sees what that person went through if they're
right,
even real,
right,
right? So my definition of success has switched from, being about money and, being about myself to being about every area of life and really putting my focus and attention on every single area. Because when I don't, if I don't put my attention on one of the areas, the others will fall. Like I
right,
can stop paying attention to my relationship with my spouse, but that could lead to a divorce if I start doing that, which will bring everything else down as well. So I would
right,
rather pay attention to every area of life instead of just thinking and focusing on one aspect. That has been one of the biggest game changers for me is switching my focus from being self-centered. I wasn't too much self-centered, but more so small-minded and small thinking and going to a big way of thinking and knowing, like having a complete knowingness that I can accomplish success in every area of life.
right, right. Definitely. Awesome. It's definitely a good shift that, because we have so much more potential than we actually give ourselves credit for, and we can push ourselves to do more. So,
I agree.
what role do you believe luck or timing plays in achieving success?
Well, I believe it could be a factor, but I found that I got this saying from somewhere else, but the harder I work and the more I think big, the luckier I get. And it's not only just the working hard part for me. It is the strategic way of thinking. It is thinking massively and thinking about how you can leverage your time. Because a lot of people work hard. I know, my whole family worked hard, right? But they're working hard at something that they like versus me working hard at a bigger goal, like just something massive, right? And there's
Right,
nothing wrong with either one. I really believe there's nothing wrong with either one, only if you know you're doing the most you possibly can. Like as long
right,
as you know that you are like truly giving it 100% and not lying to yourself, I believe it's you're on your way to the right path. But if you're just lying to yourself, you're just lying to yourself. And if you're not actually giving it your all, you won't be able to accomplish the massive potential that you have.
right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Awesome. Um, can you share a specific challenge or setback that you faced on your journey to success and how you overcame that?
I definitely can. Yeah. So I actually like to tell people about the failures that I have, and I recommend that everybody documents their failures because when you are successful, people are going to ask about your failures. In fact, like a lot of people tend to ask, like, what's the biggest setback you've had, right? Like a lot of people will come up to you and ask that as well. And for me, the biggest one was losing sight of my own dreams. Meaning when I was 13, I had ambitions to buy the Caesar's Palace, which is an $18 billion hotel, even younger than that. When I was 13, I started my own business. Grew it from, like I said, $70 to $100,000 in sales. Like I had all these ambitions. I was doing the right things. And then I fell into a trap that probably a lot of people fall into, which is depression. Thinking very low about myself, thinking I was stupid, thinking I was an idiot, thinking I was too stupid to even accomplish something really big. I thought I was an idiot. And I thought the planet would be better without me. So I tried committing suicide.
Mhm.
I tried wiping myself from the face of this planet at the age of 19, right? And I already had success in my business, but I didn't see it that way. I still thought myself as being a loser and someone that was not worthy of something bigger. Someone that was not worthy of having a beautiful relationship with my wife that I now have. I didn't think I was worthy of any of those things. And I've almost died probably 10 times, actually. I don't usually tell that part of the story, but I've almost died quite a few times. But obviously, God has kept me here for a reason,
Right,
specifically. Okay. And I believe it is for something much more bigger than living an average life, than just getting by, than, thinking that I'm small, thinking that I'm not good enough. I believe that I am still here to serve this planet, not even just my own community, the whole entire planet. Right. So the way I got over that challenge is I started investing in myself. And that's why I tell people so much to invest in myself, because it got me out of wanting to remove myself from the planet every other day of my life. And it got me out of being extremely depressed, like so dark that I couldn't even see the sun. Like it was just so dark. Right. And that was because of investing in myself. I just started by reading books. Everybody was like, well, I can't invest in myself. I don't have the money. Like there's plenty of ways to invest in yourself. I recommend investing money into yourself, because then you have more on the line. You've put more towards yourself than just the cars and stuff like that. But if you don't, there's a plenty of free ways. So there's no excuses. And the way I got out of that really dark hole of, it was like 10 years long, and alcoholic too, drugs and all the whole shebang. The way I got out of that is the first thing I did was investing in myself, because I wasn't aware that other people have gone through the same exact thing. And I was very inspired once I started seeing success stories of similar stories to mine.
Right.
So that's how I got out of it.
That's awesome. That's,
Yeah.
Investing in yourself is something people overlook, and it's such a powerful thing. And it can be as easy as going to the library and reading a book. They've got tons of them there. There's free ways to do it, but once you start really investing in yourself, it changes. The game
Mm-hmm.
changes. It definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
So do you so I think we've already gone over this, but we're gonna hit it again because it's important, I feel. Do you think there's a connection between failure and success?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of people are afraid of failing, and I believe it has a lot to do with upbringing, because we're told not to fail. We're told not to get bad grades and learn, we were told a lot of things, and I'm not blaming it on anybody. I'm just saying, like, I've kind of been told a lot of things, and I started becoming more and more afraid of failing. And even like in school, when you get, like, I personally got bullied, and, I'm not even that dark skinned, but I got made fun of my skin color, right? Somehow. I don't know, like, whatever. But those things started making me more and more fearful of failure. And you definitely need to fail more. That's the problem, is people don't realize, like, the more you fail, the more you are going to grow. If you are afraid of failure, you're always going to have one foot in the door and one foot outside of the door. Like, you're always going to be wanting to, like, you're going to have like safety nets, you're going to have all these like ways to just back out. And that's why most people end up ultimately failing at their dreams, specifically, not in life, but at their dreams, is because they keep on exiting. They keep on going back out the door. And it's because they keep on being afraid of failure. And I know for a fact that every highly successful person that you all know that are watching this, they failed a lot. Michael Jordan, Lionel Messi, who is on fire right now, turned down $1.6 billion. Okay, like, he turned down $1.6 billion. You know how he can do that? It's because he's failed so much, and he has learned that to keep his own personal, whatever, his own dreams in, whatever those are for him. And he has failed to the point where he can do that because he's so successful now, because he has failed so many times. And the same for myself. If I had not tried to commit suicide, I'm not telling anybody to do that, but for me personally, like, I learned so many lessons from it. So I'm grateful that I went through that. I am not grateful that I affected other people, though. But I learned a lot of lessons for it. It's kind of like this weird thing, I am not, huge disclaimer, I'm not telling anybody to, like, go down that road. I'm not telling anybody to, like, get depressed and feel sorry for yourself. I'm not telling you to be a victim and be like, oh, poor me, everything's wrong with me. No, I'm not saying that at all. I am saying, go for success and go all in on your future and be okay with failing.
Right.
Because a lot of people aren't. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Yes.
Yeah. And you learn from those failures and you get stronger and you learn what not to do next time and what works. And, it's failing is important in growing.
Yes. 1000%.
Yeah. So, how do you maintain a work-life balance while pursuing success?
I don't necessarily put my attention on the work-life balance side of things. Like I don't really, I understand where people are coming from. I do, because they're trying to have the success in every area of life, right? And that's perfectly like fine, but like I don't believe that there's ever a perfect balance. Like I don't believe that there is I don't think there's a balance to things. I believe in giving it my 100% in all aspects, which is different because then I give it my all in every area. And if one drops down and it's brought to my attention, I handle it. I don't run away from it. Right. I don't try to balance it out either. I just handle it. Like what happened there? What happened?
Yep.
Right? Like was it someone that's angry with me? Was it me not paying attention to my health for a whole month? What happened? Why did this happen? And I just handle it. I don't get into the work-life balance thing because in my opinion, like, yes, you want to look for the ideal scenario, but it's kind of looking for a perfect situation, perfect scenario where it's like 25% here, 25% here, 25, 25. And it just doesn't work like that because I mean, reality is you sleep for 8 hours. So you're already using 33% of your day for that. Right. So it's not like there's no really like balance to it. So, and some people might disagree with me, but the work-life balance thing, I believe, is looking for perfection, and I'm not a perfectionist. I'm just looking to give it my 100% in all aspects. I'm looking to give it my all of the time, 100% of the time. They're not like a balance of like chilling for 50% and giving 100% for 50%. That's too many numbers, right? Like, so like,
math is getting confusing now.
yeah, exactly. It starts getting really confusing. Why don't I just give it my all 100% of the time?
Exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
Has there been a moment that you felt like you were successful but weren't recognized for it? And how did you handle that?
Oh, totally. I believe on the come up when y'all are, like working at it and nobody is seeing it, it's going to happen a lot. Totally. Like it doesn't happen just one or two times. There's many times where you're going to be working your butt off towards your dreams in ways that nobody even believes except for you that you can impact this planet on. And it will go unseen many times until it doesn't, until it all changes for you.
Yeah.
And I practice delayed gratification in some ways. Like obviously, again, I give it my 100%. I'm not being like, okay, delayed gratification and not giving it my 100%. But I delay gratification and buying all these things because I could go buy a Lamborghini right now if I really wanted to. I'm not going to. And I'm delaying all those things. And the reason I say that is because a lot of what we did in, the beginning and all the things that, I was working really hard at, and a lot of things that you're working hard at, people watching this, is going to go unnoticed at first. But eventually it will pop. Eventually it is going to break. Eventually, like it is going to happen that day, as long as you don't quit, where all of a sudden it's definitely being noticed. Right? There will be a turning point, but only if you don't keep on having 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out of the door, because then it's just going to always be like that for you.
Yep. Let's go all in and never quit.
Exactly.
Have you had to make any difficult decisions or sacrifices on your path to success?
Yes, totally. And I can give an example just so everybody has an example here. For me personally, leaving my home state was a sacrifice because that meant I was going to be spending less time with my family. And I really like spending time with my family. It's something that I put off for years because I liked it so much. And sometimes I'm not saying like I don't, it's not like I don't hang out with them. It's not like I don't call them right now, but I didn't know what was going to happen. And I didn't like really want to do it, but I knew I had to, because if I didn't, I would be staying in my small circle of the town I lived in and not expanding outside of it.
Mhm.
Right. And I started thinking and I started believing really in the idea of expansion. Right. And yeah, I had to make a sacrifice of spending like a lot of time to less time. Right. It's not that I don't spend any time though, just so everybody is clear. It doesn't have to be like that. Right. Like you can always make a choice. You can just shoot a text that takes like 10 seconds. Like there's always ways, you guys. And for me personally, yes, there's so many examples of sacrifices that I had to make. Even the comfort of going and swimming in the pool outside here. It's like
Mhm.
something I always dreamed about, this pool, living in a tropical place. And now I am here and I'm sacrificing it because I know there is more that I can do. I know there's more than me just swimming in a pool, right?
Right.
It's totally fine, but I know there's more to it, so I don't even do it. Like I know there's more that I can do with my potential. So the point I'm making is, in order to reach my potential, I will have to make sacrifices. I will have to have courage, and I will have to go all in every single day, like I mentioned earlier.
Right. Right. All right. So delayed gratification, that's huge. Like something that in our day and age, I don't think we have a lot of that. And it
Mm-hmm.
it makes, if you do delay your gratification, you're gonna be able to expand and grow, just like you're saying. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, how important is goal setting, and do you have any strategies for setting goals?
Yes. This one I learned from Grant Cardone, which is writing my goals down in the morning and at night. And it is simply just writing them down. You don't have to memorize them. It's writing down what is in present time. And the reason why it's so important is because think about it. This is more coming from me. Like, think about it. Like, we have, if you do I believe it's, you guys have to fact check this or whatever, but I believe it's 70,000 thoughts every day that we think. And that your goals get all mixed up in all of that. They get jumbled up in all of the thoughts during your day. So if you don't put it on a piece of paper in the morning and at night, it's not going to be as real to you or not real at all. And when you put it on a piece of paper in the morning and at night, it makes it more real for you. You can see it. It is in front of you existing, you know? And it's not that it has been manifested yet, but I know for a fact that a lot of successful people write down their goals. I don't know about twice a day, but they definitely do it. And it has been a big piece of their success too. I believe it was, there was oh yeah, it was Venus Williams, the tennis player. She's been writing her goals down for years, and she's one of the most known tennis players on the planet, if not like the first or second most known. Right. So my point is, it's so important. It makes it more real to you, and it's a way to remind yourself of why you're waking up in the morning, like why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay. Follow up on that. How do you measure your progress towards your goals?
Measuring my progress, it depends on which goal. I track, things that I can track, such as I have a tracking sheet that I use to see what kind of progress that I have made. And I have stats that we have for our company, for like how many leads come in, the revenue, the amount of profit we're making. Like we have stats on those things. So track what you can track. You can even track your stats on the gym, and over the last 30 days, how many times have you went to the gym? Like you could literally look at a graph if you wanted to. And if that graph is almost doesn't really exist, if there's no plots on it, then that means you probably should pay more attention to it. So like I have targets that I hit to be able to get towards the goal. And it's a little bit hard to measure some of them unless they're like super specific. Like if I'm writing a goal down and I'm in the best shape of my life, I believe there's always another level. So it's kind of a paradox, but it always helps me get to another level, and it makes me more fulfilled and feel better about myself and have more energy so I can help people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
What are some habits or practices that have contributed to your success?
Some habits. For me personally, it's one of them is writing down my goals twice a day. One of them is going to the gym. One of them is having people aligned with me and around me, which, maybe some of you haven't heard about that. Like if people, your family and friends and people around you aren't very aligned, it's not going to be very synergistic, and there's going to be conflicting ideas, which makes you question yourself, right? So there's going to be different things that are happening, and it's really important to be aligned with the people around you. I have a lot of different things that I do daily. It's the fundamentals that most people know about, with the addition of investing in myself, like I said, writing my goals down twice a day, and having people aligned with me. Like, I don't think there's one thing. I think people look for that one thing. And there's hundreds of one things. There's thousands of one things. And I think people are trying to find a shortcut instead of just doing the fundamentals that they know they're supposed to be doing, the habits that we all know, by the way, that we're supposed to be doing,
Yep.
and going and just doing it, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing I'll point out, Ben, is I believe the reason why people don't have these habits is because the goal's not big enough. There's no big reason to even do it in the first place, so they end up not doing it at all. Can you still hear me, Ben? I think I lost you.
Okay, well, that was strange.
All good.
Huh. All right. Well, let's go on to the next question here. Sorry.
Sounds great.
Um, have you ever faced any moments of self-doubt or imposter syndrome?
Totally. Totally. I have mostly gotten rid of it now, but for a very long time, I mentioned this earlier, I had imposter syndrome like crazy, and I was personally my own worst enemy. And I believe everybody can get over that, because I have. Everybody can get over the doubt. And I believe there's a huge difference and misconception between fear and doubt. Doubt is like really like putting yourself down and not believing it's possible, and like not believing in yourself, thinking you're not good enough. Like that's all doubt. That's all imposter syndrome. Fear, on the other hand, is it's scary. It's so big. It's like, oh wow, that's scary, And then courage is doing it anyway, right? So yes, the answer to your question, yes, I had it for such a long time, for years. In fact, I mean, one big contributing factor was at the age of 5, I was told I had a comprehension problem. So I was told at the age of 5 that I have a problem, and you're different from all the other kids, and you can't read as well as everybody else. And that kind of message to me right off the bat was that I'm not as smart as everybody else. So I like literally I had imposter syndrome basically since I was 5 until the age of like 23, roughly 24. And then now I'm 28 years old, and I've mostly gotten rid of it. Like it hardly ever comes up. It's very rare. And I have done that by writing one goal down. I'll tell everybody my secret on how I did this. It is writing in the morning and at night that I am 100% sold on myself.
Right.
And it has height for some reason. It has been very magical for me in writing that goal down every day. And I do encourage everybody to just use that, because it will completely change your life. You start believing in yourself more. You start having more self-confidence. I'm not telling you to be an arrogant, you know what, have this massive ego and like you're better than everybody else. And like, oh, I'm just going to ignore this person because he's so small. I'm not saying that. I am saying to be more confident in yourself, to believe in yourself, starve the doubt, get rid of the doubt, completely demolish it, make it non-existent in your life.
Nice.
That is what I'm saying about doubt and imposter syndrome. The answer is yes.
Yes. I love it. I love it. How do you handle competition or comparison in your field?
How competition and comparison, I learn from what they're doing. I don't think of it as like, I don't really think about it as comparison. The thing that I compare myself to is my own potential. I mean, that's really the best word to use. Like I really compare myself to what I am possible in doing, like what's possible for me, I should say. Right. Like if I continue to compare myself to others, it's going to drive me crazy because I can't even change what they're doing. I can only change what I'm doing. And I'm pretty competitive, but at the same time, like I'm competitive against myself. I'm really hard on myself. I do it. I'm hard on myself, but I don't bring myself down. Right. But to answer your question, I don't think about comparing myself and competition very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that's just getting started towards success?
It's a great question. I would highly recommend investing in yourself first, and then investing in ways for you to expand. Like you really need to get yourself right first. Like one of my mentors calls it me leadership, right? And John Maxwell talks about it absolutely a lot. But like you need to get yourself figured out. Like what are you good at? What's your purpose in life? Like what kind of goals do you want to accomplish? Like that's the first thing. A lot of people skip over this, but what do you even want to accomplish? Why do you want to have a business? Like why do you want to leave? Like what is the why behind what you want to do in your future? And maybe you don't have the answer right now, which is the exact reason why you need to figure it out. Because otherwise you'll live life without that answer and you will have missed out on some of life's greatest fulfillments.
Right.
Which is the things that you want in the first place. And a lot of times, like we kind of know, but we haven't like actually put it down on paper and made a plan for it. So like figure out what you even want in life and then invest in yourself to get the skills necessary to achieve those dreams and goals that you have had. And if you gave up on them, go back to when you were 10 years old and see what your dreams were back then. They were limitless, right? So I highly encourage people to do that. Invest in yourself and then invest in ways to expand you, your family, your community, and everybody around you. Right. And even if you want to get even more encouraged, I had my mentorship group do this the other day. Write a check to a charity of your choice for $1 million, right? Just write the check and then put it in front of you until it's actually true. Because doing all this and having success and like working on yourself, maybe you're at the stage where you need to work on yourself first. That's great. But like think about the end and like what kind of legacy you want to leave and what kind of things you want to achieve. Like think really big with your dreams. Don't limit to yourself to what you think you can do right now. Put your dreams at a very high level. That's what I'd recommend, and investing in yourself and then investing in expansion.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Has your success level that you're at now brought you the fulfillment you thought it would, or what do you think is missing?
That's a great question. I always want more out of myself, but all the work I have done to get here, I am more fulfilled than I ever thought I even could be.
Okay.
Yeah, and like right now, I am more fulfilled than I ever thought I could be. But I'm also, it's funny, it's kind of a yin and a yang type of thing. I'm also dissatisfied and knowing that I can get to a higher level.
Right.
I was at such a low level that my fulfillment is way higher than I ever imagined. And I know there's even a higher level of the fulfillment. I know that there is even more that I can do. And it's funny because I wasn't really looking for happiness and fulfillment. Like I was looking for fulfillment more so, but not really happiness. and I'm more happy than I've ever been.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like I wasn't really looking for it. And I think people put way too much attention for it. It has just come to me. Like the blessings are coming because I'm doing the necessary things to have the blessings.
Yep. Yeah.
You know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Final question here, Alex.
Awesome.
How do you celebrate your successes? Do you have any rituals or practices to acknowledge those achievements?
We go out for dinner for certain achievements that we achieve. Like if they're big, we do that. And in the mornings, I do think about wins that I have. One that I've been saying every single morning is waking up with the win of having my wife next to me. You know, like
Right.
that has been a win for me every single day. As soon as I like just realized, I'm like, oh wow, this is a win that I can wake up with every morning. And now I can wake up with even more excitement in the mornings because I have a win right off the bat. So I celebrate it by acknowledging it. And I think everybody should take the time to acknowledge their wins. It does not mean that you need to go on a three-week vacation or a 3-day vacation, or it doesn't mean that you have to. You can, if that works for you. But for me
Right.
personally, it's acknowledging it. It's going and celebrating like the bigger achievements, like up for like a dinner and things like that. But other than that, I know that there's so much more that I can do, so I don't spend too much time on it at the same time. If that makes sense.
Right. Right. You
Yeah.
acknowledge it, but you don't dwell in it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't stay stuck in it. And one more thing to that, Ben, if you look at the people that are the greatest sports players of all time, they don't stay stuck in their wins. They spend like
Right.
a day or a week celebrating it, and then they start figuring out how they're going to win the next one.
Right.
The people
Yep.
that don't win multiple championships, even though that they're very high achievers, they're still in the NBA. They're still in the FIFA World Cup, or they're still in the like they're still one of the highest achievers on the planet. But the reason why they don't get to that next level is because they're stuck in the wins from the past.
Right.
Or the opposite, they're stuck in the failures from the past. They're not even in the present moment. All of that happened in the past, as amazing as it is. And a lot of people stay stuck. I got my high school diploma, yeah, in 2013. You know what I mean? So like that was an achievement. That was a really high achievement because I worked for 12 years to get it.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm not here celebrating it still. I am
Right.
looking for the next win. And I think some of the funnest parts of my life are the journey to the next win. Like getting to the next win and then going and figuring out that I can hit that target.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate you stopping by and speaking with us today. Do you have anything else you'd like to say or bring up?
No, I mean like if anybody is on this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button for Ben. He's an amazing person, and people deserve to know you. People deserve to see what you are doing for others. And I encourage everybody to go follow you, hit your subscribe button, and like those that want to follow me, just find me on Instagram. It's at Alex Zastoupil, and that's all.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Have a great day.
You're welcome, Ben. You have an amazing day as well.
Thank you.
Yep.